Warning: the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
It is the Savage Nation, the April 9th edition. We are awaiting the Great One's speech at Fort Hood. He's decided to take time out from his globe-trotting, his embracing of Al Sharpton, his friends in the basketball league. He's about to speak at Fort Hood any second now. And we're going to wait for his solemn words, because I know that right after this he has to dash off to New York to embrace Al Sharpton, at least what's left of Al Sharpton. There's a half of Al Sharpton left now. You're listening to the Savage Nation. We're awaiting the sage words of the President of the United States right now on the Savage Nation.
A time for every matter under heaven. We laugh and we weep. We celebrate and we mourn.
He's reading Turn, Turn, Turn.
We serve in war and we pray for peace. But Scripture also teaches that alongside the temporal, one thing is eternal.
The sideburn.
Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things.
Okay, all right. I don't know if I can take any more.
Love never ends.
Love? Come on, man. I don't know if I can listen to this now.
Deputy Secretary Fox, General Dempsey.
Talk about the fact
Secretary
that the
McHugh,
troops were disarmed on the base, and they were like sitting ducks, and you decided to finally lift that siege, and you're going to let troops be armed on bases, and let's move on, okay?
The wounded,
and
those who
wasn't for
returned
this,
to
and
duty,
wasn't
and
for
those
that.
still recovering. And the entire community.
Look, it's a terrible thing, okay? These guys were shot by a deranged, crazy man, and they had no guns to fight back. So what am I going to do here? Ridicule Obama? What do you have to do with it? Nothing.
Brings us together again.
I'm glad he's there. I feel better. Now let's move on.
It was love for country.
Russia, meanwhile, has 20, 30,000 troops on the border of Ukraine. What is that, love? And then we have Kerry. Kerry, they're rejecting the charge that the administration's foreign policy is spinning out of control. I would like you on the Savage Nation, if you're listening intently right now, let's say you're scanning the dial and you finally said, who is this guy? This guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I want you to listen to an exchange yesterday between Senator Jim Risch, a Republican of Idaho, and Secretary Clueless Kerry in clips 1 and 2. Neil, let's fire away 1. Senator Jim Risch on the Savage Nation.
At the issues with Russia and Iran and North Korea and Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, and the peace process, and all the difficulties with every one of these, I tell you, you can't help but get the impression that our foreign policy is just spinning out of control, and we're losing control in virtually every area that we're trying to do something in. This administration said they were going to hit the reset button, and I can't help think that somebody hit the wrong button.
Well, let me give you what I consider a taste of reality, Senator, about our foreign policy and the realities of the world. Georgia happened under George Bush.
Oh, Bush.
Georgia happened under George Bush, and he didn't even bring a sanction. When you say,
there it is again. Get him off the show. Get Ketchup off the show. Get Mr. Ketchup off the show. This is a Secretary of State. He blames what happened under Bush. You hear this? For his incompetence. It's unbelievable to me. All right, let's dip back into Barack Obama at the memorial today at Fort Hood.
You could go to talk to. And it was love for their comrades, for all of you, that defined their last moments.
Okay, look, what can you do?
When the gunman
tried to it's good enough that he went there. Let's wait and see if he makes it political. So far, he's done a nice job. That he's shown up. This way he'll get a few of the military men to vote for their own demise. That's okay. Few of them will be bamboozled by him. That's good.
Gave his life walking toward the gunman.
All right, I don't want to hear anymore because I don't want to get cynical. I mean, cynicism is in my nature. I've been a cynic since I'm a child. I can't listen to this man without saying something sarcastic. It's just I can't look at him. I can't listen to him. I don't believe a word he says. But all right, in a moment like this, I'll let it go. That's all there is to it. To everything there is a season, Obama was trying to say from Ecclesiastes. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. Now go tell that to the fools who think that dancing is a 24/7 environment. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. What you do have to remember is you need stones in order to gather stones together. That's the number one thing that you got to remember. And when you got John Boehner crying at a Taco Bell, you understand the trouble we're in. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. See, that's in the Bible. You didn't know hate's in the Bible. I shouldn't have let it seep out because the next thing you know, several of the more tolerant groups in America are liable to burn the Bibles, and that is the Old Testament, the Jewish Bible, because it says a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. That's what he was referring to, our dear leader. Let's tune back in. Let's see if he's going to make it political. Otherwise, we're going to move on.
Power can ever break. They've slipped from your embrace, but know that you will never be alone.
Okay, let's move on.
Because this
He's
army
doing a fine job.
and this nation stands
All
with
right,
you.
what can you do?
all
The
the
men are
days to come.
dead. The men are dead because of the disarmament policy that was enacted by. We looked into this already. We know already it was a Bush job enacted by Clinton, but it was under Bush that the rules were written to disarm the troops. That's so. We covered that the other day. And what's the point of revisiting that? I'll tell you what I want to revisit today. You know what I want to revisit? Yesterday's show was a stupendous home run right out of the park. It was Babe Ruth knocking the ball out of the park and walking around the bases. All I asked you was name the 10 worst people in American history and why. And the lines went hot. Now, I was going to do something different today, which is name the 10 best people, but I realized nobody would call on that. And if they did, it would be the most boring show in the world. Because I tell you, I thought about it in bed. People want to vent their anger. They're so fuming. They're so fuming right now. What's gone wrong in this country? I'd like you to revisit that one. Who are the 10 worst people in America and why? And I ranked Al Sharpton in the top 10 because he hijacked Dr. King's legacy and used it for personal gain. I would then say Jesse Jackson is in the top 10. Why? Because in my opinion, he hijacked Dr. King's legacy and used it for personal gain. Now, I realize some of you may not agree with me, and you'd put some people on the list who I wouldn't agree with, but I let you put Republicans on the list because some of you are rational. Some of you put George Bush on the list for painting the most god-awful paintings in the world, but I didn't let that stop you. When you said that his paintings are no better than that of a 5-year-old painting a Follow the Dots painting, did I argue with you? No. I let you put that up there. When those of you put Henry Kissinger on the list of the worst American, did I argue with you just because I thought Hank cut quite the figure as in the hippie era when he had long hair? No. When he was the celebrity of New York's low society, Hank was seen everywhere while the Vietnam War was raging. Oh, while the Vietnam War was raging, Kissinger was everywhere, enjoying himself in between the meetings with the Vietnamese. I didn't say anything to you when you said that. So if you'd like to call us and, I got news for you, too. You want to hear the news that I got for you? I got news for you. That's the news I have for you. There's plenty of news. Don't think I'm struggling for news. I'm not going to tell you I don't. I do. But I'm not sure I want to do the news. You can get the news yourself by going to websites. What do you need me for? See, this is the thing people in radio don't understand yet. They can make themselves redundant by reading the news to you from the Drudge Report. I mean, there's a heck of a news story there. Stabbings at the high school. Now, what are we going to do with that one? Nothing. Standoff at Nevada Ranch. 200 armed federal agents taking away cows. You hear this? 200 federal agents to take cows away from a man. That's the America under the imposter now at Fort Hood. The governor of Nevada is saying it's an intimidation by the federal government. Of course it is. Wake up, America, says the family. They're taking everything away from you, from us. But I don't want to talk about that. China shows their new carrier jet for Mr. Hagel the Bagel visit. They couldn't get him a good fresh bagel, so they showed him a new aircraft carrier. No, he's visiting China, and he wanted to see if they yet had a bagel bakery that was worth anything in China. And instead of showing him a new bagel bakery in Shanghai, brought in by a Jewish-Chinese entrepreneur, apparently they don't exist yet in China. He was shown their new aircraft carrier. So that's that. What else? Mars aligns with Earth and Sun. I don't know. Any of these celestial events don't affect me. What does it have to do with me? Mars aligns with Earth and Sun. Am I supposed to hide in my basement now? Hide in the root cellar? Mars aligns with Earth and Sun. And what? No wonder I have a pain in my left ear. I get it. Ah, that explains the new pain in the neck. What else is in the news? I'll get out the news. You don't want to hear this. Turn back Obama. Let me have Obama again.
Staff Sergeant Carlos Lizani Rodriguez.
I'll turn it off. Okay.
Sergeant Timothy Owens.
Okay, you can't ridicule. This is a service.
Like the 576 Fort Hood soldiers who've given their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan.
How come you don't mention the soldiers killed by your friend Nidal Hassan? How come you don't mention the murder at Fort Hood by the Muslim major who's still living? Tell me why. Tell me why there's no memorial to those soldiers shot dead by the Muslim major, kept alive by the Muslim lobbies in this country. Still alive, still enjoying his salary. Tell me about that. Where were you when you were needed, Obama? Oh. I need some calls up here. I'm going to talk about racism right now. Hank Aaron is a ball player that I once respected. No longer. Hank Aaron told a reporter that anyone who criticizes Obama is like the Ku Klux Klan. Did you hear what I just said to you? Hank Aaron, who I remember as a young boy, was a fabulous ball player. I always liked Hank Aaron. Little did I know that underneath the skin was a lunatic, possibly a racist, harboring hatred for everyone other than those of his own race. Anyone who criticizes Obama is a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Listen, Hank, I don't own any sheets. And if I do, they're all either brown or green. None of my sheets are white, Hank. I don't sleep on white sheets, Hank. Hank Aaron says you oppose the president, you're a racist. This is unbelievable to me. Can you name one member of Congress who was an actual Ku Klux Klan member? A Ku Klux Klan member? No, there's only one, a Democrat named Robert Byrd. He was the only actual member of Congress who was a Ku Klux Klan member. Ku Klux Klan. I make a nice comic strip. The Ku Klux Klan comic strip. How about Woodrow Wilson? He was a progressive who showed the first movie in the White House, which was a pro-Ku Klux Klan movie. You don't know that. Did you know that President Lyndon Baines Johnson gave a State of the Union speech in which he and the Democrats had until that point done everything humanly possible to oppose any manner of civil rights for blacks, including the filibuster of the Civil Rights Act by noted Ku Klux Klan member and longtime Democrat Robert Byrd, decided that it was time to stop oppressing blacks and start helping them. Did you know that? That was the beginning of the modern progressive movement known as the Great Society. Now, that speech by Johnson should go down in history. The poverty level under your president, Obama, has broken a 50-year record. 50 years of welfare progressivism, and we have more poor, not less. Progressive policies have done more to hurt the African-American community than anything the GOP has ever dreamed up. Hank Aaron, your ignorance is embarrassing. Who are the 10 worst Americans and why? Now, before we take the break, has the president used this opportunity to sign? Oh, he's finished. Has he put out sign-up sheets yet for the Democrat Party? Have they passed out any DNC sign-up sheets or donation to the travel kitty? I think he's getting ready for a trip. Thank God they didn't honor the guy who did the shooting. I was afraid of that. With the new PC military, I thought they were going to honor the one who did the killing. I'll be right back.
I'm not going to make a decision for a while because, I'm actually enjoying my life. I'm actually having fun, just, doing ordinary things like seeing my friends and going on long walks and
oh my
playing
God,
with our dogs and doing stuff that are just.
All right.
They sound
I am
pretty
so
simple.
happy that Mrs. Clinton is enjoying her life. She must be making peach cobblers in Westchester with Martha Stewart, wearing a little apron now. Just one of us. She's just one of the people. Her and Martha Stewart are rolling the dough together with the rolling pins and getting the tips on how to make the best Westchester peach cobbler you've ever tasted. And perhaps she may or may not run for the presidency. Long walks with the dog. It sounds like a bad ad. It's like a bad personal ad. W seeks M. Woman 60 plus seeks male. Likes long walks on the beach. You ever see those ads? I once did a whole show on it many years ago. It was one of my most famous shows where I read the personal ads. I can't find them anymore. They don't do them anymore. You can go to Craigslist. Woman seeks man, man seeks woman, man seeks man, man seeks woman. I never saw anything like it. How could you find anybody? You know they're crazy, Craigslist people. You don't meet anybody like, but the ads are funny. When it says, let's see, loves nature, poetry, progressive politics, you know where that's going to go. You know what kind of relationship that's going to be. Try to leave her. Try to leave her after one date. See what happens. Loves long walks on the beach. Loves nature, animals, progressive politics, hates Republicans. Woman 50 plus, Boca Raton. Loves men with plenty of money. Loves men with plenty of money to give me the lifestyle to which I have not become accustomed. Because I lived with a schlepper who owned a bagel bakery in Bensonhurst, who ran away with a 20-year-old Russian. Just when he started to make some money, he left me. A 20-year-old Russian came in, from the Ukraine, no less.
Join the Savage Nation.
No, I don't mean in that way. I don't mean in the sense. He didn't expose himself that way. He exposed himself for being the dunce that he is when he came out for amnesty. And that sort of ended his career. And then he started stumbling. Well, now he's come out on the Crimea and Putin, and I can see that he got the cliff notes. I see that. Listen to what Marco Rubio has to say about Putin in clip number 17.
I think Putin has the way to understand Vladimir Putin is he very clearly views the end of the Soviet Union as a tragic thing that happened.
Wow.
And that he views that as a result of that, Russia has lost its influence in the world.
Wow.
I think he views himself as a historic figure that's going to restore Russia to its rightful place in his
Where
mind
have I heard
as
that
a global
before?
power. And the beginning of that is the ability to basically...
I think I've read that 500 times now. So I see he got the cliff notes on the situation. That's a real Republican genius, that Rubio. Now, I thought he was gone from the scene, and that he had opened up a restaurant chain called Rubio's. No? Is there no restaurant chain Rubio's? He could have cashed in already on the name. And the name is so colorful. It could be a Italian chain. You wouldn't know. It could be a Spanish chain. You wouldn't know. He could have a twofer. He could have a hybrid chain of Spanish restaurants and Italian restaurants. Well, what's he wasting his time with this for? He doesn't need cliff notes to open a business. He's a front man anyway, so let him use him as a front man for a chain of restaurants called Rubio's. Now, on the same hand, we have House Speaker John Boehner breaking into tears at a Taco Bell event. He makes an appearance at a Taco Bell Foundation for Teens, and he starts to cry. He says, "Some of you know how I am about these things," Boehner said, choking back tears. And I didn't know that the sauce, the hot sauce at Taco Bell was that hot. Won't he choking back tears? This guy cries at the drop of a hat. I mean, I was joking. I said the other day, how many times have I said the opposition doesn't exist, the pink tide? It's like the pink tide brigade. It's embarrassing. It's frightening. The Chinese are just watching. They got the imposter in the White House. On the opposition side, they got a crybaby with a pink tie. And Obama cuts. Oh, wait a minute. This was last night. I got off the air. I couldn't wait to get on the air. Just when I thought I was going to get off the air, I had to go back on the air. I had to wait 23 hours for this. I almost fell down. The U.S. to reduce nuke missile force as part of START treaty with Russia. I swear to God. Obama just ordered the nuclear commanders to remove 50 nuclear missiles from their launch silos as part of a plan to bring the United States into compliance with the 2011 U.S.-Russia Arms Control Treaty, the so-called Pentagon said. I swear to God. They've gone from the Pentagon to the pentagram in one generation. What, do they have devil worshippers in there? They took 50 nuclear missiles out of the silos to be in compliance with Russia and the United States. They had a treaty in 2011, and everything's changed, but they're still taking them out of the silos. But that wasn't good enough for the left-wing commies in the Federation of American Communist Scientists. They said this is disappointing because they didn't take away enough ICBMs. They wanted more removed. They want more removed. See? The so-called Federation of American Commie Scientists isn't happy that Obama only removed 50 nuclear missiles from the launch tubes. No, they wanted all of them gone. And then they could all sing, "We shall comply with Russia's commands from now on." Wow. Let's go to some callers. I'm feeling good because I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I'm flying to Westchester to learn how to make peach cobblers with the First Lady. No. Oh, no. I already printed out the boarding pass. I am such a bad traveler. I've been packing for 4 days. I can't sort. I cannot sort out what to take. And everyone in the family is saying, stop it. Don't overload the bag. You only wear one pair of pants and one shirt for the whole week. Why are you packing 5 pair of shoes and 8 shirts and 12 pants? And what are you doing? And there are stores here. I can't help it. It's an OCD thing. It's just an OCD thing. So now it says you can print out the boarding pass 24 hours before the flight, right? I am such a nut with flying. I've been up. I was 5 hours earlier sitting at the United Airlines site waiting to print it. And I would test it and it would say, too early. You can't do it yet. The computer doesn't let you print it until exactly 24 hours before the flight. Then I print it and the printer won't print it. I had to get an assistant to put it into my cell phone. Anyway, I'm telling you, I can't wait for tomorrow. I just can't wait for tomorrow. Let's go to the callers. KBET in Las Vegas. Ron, what's on your mind? Welcome to the Savage Nation.
Everything you said was perfection, mister. I'll tell you, I can hardly top it. But the reason I called is for the simple reason I think that this president has been replaced by another person.
Well, come on. You mean a double?
Yes, sir, buddy. And
whoa, come on. What gives you... No, come on. I come on. You don't really mean that. You mean Obama's not even Obama? It's a double now?
His wife don't travel with him. They everything they do is separate. What's going on?
Wait. So where's the real Obama?
I wonder.
Wait a minute. What do you mean? Ha ha ha. You're alleging that we have a double danger in the White House. A double.
Yes, sir,
a body double. No, leaders do have doubles, by the way. Okay, no, they do. Leaders have doubles. That's well known. The only one they couldn't find a double for was Nixon, I think. They only made one of those, and God broke the mold. They couldn't match the nose. But everyone else had doubles. So it's possible. Okay, but where's the real Obama? By your theory, if it's a double, where's the real one?
Who knows? Maybe he's with Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh.
After all, look.
Well, I know you're calling from Vegas. Okay, so that's on your mind. All right, look, different strokes for different tokes, you know what I'm saying? And the dope today, I understand, is 17 times stronger than in my day. So I don't know what they're selling up in Vegas. It was bad enough when I smoked it as a kid. Garbage, poisoned my brain, set me back, never recovered. Total nightmare. You want me to tell you something about marijuana? You idiots out there falling for this lie? I'm not going to mention who. One of the most well-known people in America, who I happen to know, not political, in another field, he had a son who died from a heroin overdose. He's a liberal. He's a Democrat. He totally opposes the legalization of marijuana. He said it led to his son's use of heroin and his death. Everyone knows that. Everybody knows that. Don't call me on any... I don't want the dopers calling. I will not take a doper call. They want to give themselves lung cancer. Good for them. That's all. There's about to be war in the Ukraine. I'm going on vacation. I know what's happening. The minute I get on the plane, the Russians will go over the border. And then by Friday, they'll call me, you have to come back on the... I'm not doing it. I will not do it. I could do it, but I'm not. I may. Even when I'm off, I'm going to be near a microphone, and I know it won't be too far away. They know I can't stay away too long, theoretically. But I have a studio where I'm going, so I could. I'm only an electron away from the radio station. Well, no, it's spring break. I want to hang around in Fort Lauderdale. I want to sit on the boardwalk with the people there. I want to watch the goings-on. Hey, look who walked in the studio. Hey, no, I don't want him to leave yet. I just saw him on Skype. He could have given me he could have done a little entertainment. No, he didn't hear. He looks like Goring. You know, he has I was saying I have a friend at the studio who looks like Herman Goring Jr. Okay. I have a studio. It's like a subway. Everyone comes in and out of it, and I'm on Skype now. I can actually see what's going on. I love it. I love Skype because I'm no longer alone in my house. I have to wear outfits now. I had to go buy a new hat. I had to get my eyeglasses remade, my vest. Because I have to look good for the guys. I can't be a slob. I have to shave now in the morning. Teddy has to get bathed every once in a while. Oh, man. Wake up, America. Where'd Obama go directly from the Fort Hood Memorial? He probably flew right to Al Sharpton's buffet. I wonder what Al Sharpton's serving on his buffet up there in Harlem when he goes up. Because he's on a diet right now. Everything's like so different, the world. Now the phone's ringing. You hear? I know who's calling, too. I'm going to get off the phone. I will kill him when I get on that phone. This guy should know better. 3 hours ago, I said, can you call the phone? He's a radio guy. Now he's calling me now. I'm not taking it. Let it ring. Oh, I hope the machine doesn't go off. Oh, I hope there's no long message where I scream at people. What's the worst thing Al Sharpton did? Now, you all remember the Tawana Brawley case, right, where she smeared herself with feces and said she was smeared with feces and raped by a white detective. That turned out to be a lie, and Al Sharpton was there, that lying sack of you-know-what with a bullhorn. How about the Duke Lacrosse scandal? I was the only one in talk radio who called it like it was within a few days of its occurrence. I knew that stripper was a liar down to her toenails. I knew it. And I stood up for those kids, and they were found to be innocent. But who stirred up the entire event? Al Sharpton. Wherever there's been a miscarriage of justice on any major level, in my opinion, there he was. Now he's suddenly cleansed himself. Now he's a friend of the president and the attorney general. Let me tell you something. They're birds of a feather. That's why they flock together. Period. End of story. So he's one of the top 10. Who's in the top 10 of the worst Americans and why? Okay. I'd like some callers on this. Let's go to WBAP. Dave, welcome from WBAP, my new home.
Hey, Dr. Savage. I can tell you one of the top worst Americans, President Obama. Oh wait, he's not an American. I don't know. I was saying about this whole Ukraine situation. That was my real topic. I think ultimately what it boils down to is that we have the East versus the West, and both of them want central control of the world, more or less. Ukraine is a focal point.
Right. Europe wants to control Ukraine because they will then have the ability to put NATO troops on the border with Russia and to basically pin Russia to a wall. That's what Putin saw coming. Okay, I know the situation. The West forced Putin's hand. Make no mistake about it. The pornographers in the European Union overstepped their boundaries. They tried to use the Ukrainian people for their own greedy, power-hungry ends. And if they could have gotten the whole Ukraine into the sphere of orbit of NATO and then made Ukraine a NATO member, they could have put troops on the border with Russia. And Russia wants a buffer zone. They don't want NATO troops on their border. So they took Crimea. Now they have 30 to 40,000 troops on the border of Ukraine. Looks like they're getting ready to seize eastern Ukraine on the pretext of protecting Russian citizens. And what are we going to do then? As far as I know, and I'm not an expert on the area, there are two Ukraines. There seems to be an eastern Ukraine and a western Ukraine, by and large, with totally different cultures and sensibilities. And it may come down to that. It's almost going to be a divide, like a Berlin Wall. I almost think we're going to have a new Berlin Wall, Neil, don't you think? They may just divide the country, creating another arbitrary border, and create a new sphere of influence for the West and the East. But we'll have to wait and see that. 855-400-7282 is the phone number. If you care to join the conversation, I pity you. It means that you're an agitated personality. You're not doing something fun today, like taking a pill and flying a kite. You actually care about America, and you're worried about what's going on. You can't understand why the media doesn't cover any of Obama's crimes and misdemeanors. And so you turn to talk radio to find out. You see, this is the problem. If talk radio does its job, we tell you what he's doing and what Holder's doing and what Sebelius is doing and what Arnie Duncan is doing and what all of these left-wing fanatics are doing to your country. But every time we do it, you get pained by it. It's like sucking in air on a tooth, an infected tooth. You know how that hurts? You get a migraine right away to the top of your head. No, every time you listen to talk radio, in other words, if all we can do is act like wind on an infected tooth, you'll do it once in a while, but then you can't do it all day long. So I can't do it all day long. Believe me, there's plenty to tell you about. I could tell you how you can't get good carp or perch anymore. I'll be right back.
Join the
Everyone loves to see billionaires lose money. So here are the biggest billionaire losers of the market slide. They're still very wealthy. We know that Mr. Undershirt, Mark Zuckerface, is still worth billions, right? But he lost $4.6 billion since March 4th when the Standard & Poor's Index, was at its peak. So who else has taken a dive? Jeff Bezos, founder CEO, lost $3.4 billion since March 4. Larry Page, co-founder and CEO of Google, lost $1.28 billion. Sergey Brin, co-founder of Google, $1.25 billion down. Evan Williams, co-founder of Twitter, $668 million down. Reed Hastings, co-founder CEO of Netflix, down $269 million. Say, what does it matter to them? It's stupid. I know it's not stupid because no matter what you're worth, you don't want to lose a dime. You have to understand the psychology of billionaires. Even if they're still worth $20 billion or $29 billion, all they add up is how much they were worth at the peak, and they feel they lost it. You don't understand greed and mania. You really don't understand it. I'm in the business to understand power madness, and I don't understand one thing, which is with all his billions, why Zuckerberg can't buy a clean undershirt. That's what I don't understand. Never mind a new undershirt. He can't have it cleaned. This is the same undershirt this kid's been wearing since Harvard. You can see the underarm stains on it. What's he trying to prove? His lips look like he wears lipstick, too. I don't like this kid. And it's not because he made a fortune. I love people who make money legitimately. I look up to them. I admire them. I don't like people who then use their wealth to push socialist left-wing causes as though they really care. He only wants the cheap labor. Suddenly he was marching arm in arm with the illegal aliens. That was his big push. Next he'll be marching about global warming. That's tomorrow. That's all. That's a story for you to take home and digest as part of the Savage Nation. When I come back, peach cobbler recipes with Martha Stewart on this. No, I'm just. I like Martha Stewart. She's got like a certain way about her. I don't think I can't cook anything that she makes. I watched a cooking show. I don't know how it's so complicated. Do this and do that and do that. There's a Frenchman I like. I watch him because it's Julia Child I never liked. Everything was butter and sugar and salt. Everything was a butter and a sugar and a salt. On that I agree with Michelle Obama. She's right to cut down on the butter, the sugar, and the salt. I mean, give her credit where credit is due. I'll be back to give you all the news, views, and reviews right here on the Savage Nation. Be here or be...
Warning. The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
I'm not going to make a decision for a while because, I'm actually enjoying my life. I'm actually having fun, just, doing ordinary things like seeing my friends and going on long walks and, playing with our dogs and doing stuff that are just, it sounds pretty simple, but at the end of the day, it's what really gives joy and meaning to your life. So I danced around that pretty well, don't you think?
You did. Yeah.
Oh, God, that laugh alone is enough to set your shackles going. What in the world? I danced around that pretty well, and the moron, the gelding reporter, laughs with her. You hear? That's what passes for journalism today. The gelding laughs with her. Well, I understand that she makes a mean peach cobbler up there in Westchester. That's what she's working on now. She says she's spending time with the family. The question is with who? And Bill's never home. All these speeches at synagogues around the world, they throw themselves at him, $300,000 a pop. What could be better? They try to rend his garments. U.S. finding on climate change is just a bunch of hot air, a new report claims. Not based on peer-reviewed articles at all. They said it's just based on a bunch of old retired guys that got together and wrote a report for the Heartland Institute that is basically full of misinformation. Just nonsense. Nonsense. They're making it up as they go along. Israeli archaeologists uncover 3,300-year-old coffin. And I don't understand why that's a big deal. NASA Curiosity rover captures mysterious bright light on Mars. Means nothing to me. Fossil galaxy could hold clues to the universe's early life. Not interesting. Sun, Mars, and Earth align in rare cosmic event. Let me get the exact time on that. If it's the day I'm flying and the same time I'm canceling the flight. Planets are found in the night sky this month. 3 planets are a fourth. What? When will this happen? They're going to give me the exact time? If it's the time I'm leaving on the flight, I'm not going. And at 8, I can't believe it. No, okay, it's on April 14th. Thank God. That was close. I swear to God, it's like so close to flight time. At 8:53 a.m. Eastern on April 14th, the same night of a total lunar eclipse, Mars will make its closest approach to Earth since January of 2008, coming within 57.4 million miles of Earth. And what's that going to do for me? It's going to affect my neck pain one way or the other? Why do we pay? Okay, it's nice to know, but everyone has such... We overreact to everything. We over-rev. Oh, so they're going to line up, and this is going to happen, and then the Sanhedrin's going to come back. And the next thing you know is this is going to walk the earth again. It's the second coming now. Neptune is going to visit again. King Neptune's coming back without any onion rings this time. I don't know why my mind skipped a beat. I thought of King Neptune, so I was thinking of Coney Island when I was a kid. There were great onion rings there in Coney Island. That's why I said King Neptune's coming back without any onion rings. It's a very funny line. It makes no sense whatsoever, but sometimes funny has nothing to do with rationality. Don't be too rational if you're trying to be funny. And I hope you're finding a good time. I hope you're enjoying it, because you can only laugh at this stuff. It's getting so bad. Hillary doesn't. She's just one of the folks now making peach cobblers, seeing my friends, playing with my dog. I can just imagine that dog. He can't wait for Hillary to come over and play with him. What's this 20 wounded in stabbings? Well, you won't see much about that because there was no gun involved. They can't blame it on an assault knife. I think they're going to outlaw bread knives now in Pennsylvania, and possibly butter knives as well. It's not a laughing matter, but, the lunatics in the media were hoping to God that it was, whatever, that it was with a gun. Who was this kid? Well, we saw a picture of him right away because he was a white boy. That I know. The picture was put right up on the World Wide Web. That I understood. What is this, the drugs again? They won't name him? Who is this crazy person? And you know who stopped him? Some teachers tackled him. Some teachers tackled this lunatic knifer. But they won't tell you that either, that it was brave teachers who jumped on the kid and stopped the stabbing. Could have been a lot worse with the assault knife. I mean, the assault butter knife incident could have been much worse if some teachers didn't tackle him. Now, I realize they may have violated his civil rights because, after he stabbed 20, you couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did it. And so he could get a lawyer, a shyster lawyer like the type that Leland Yee got, who could claim that it was premature for the teachers to jump on him with the knife after he stabbed 20 because they couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he's the one who did the stabbing. And so, therefore, there's a lawsuit against the school for having tackled him to the ground and disturbed his sense of self-esteem. That's equal to the Leland Yee case. They hired that crackpot dirtbag from North Beach to represent him. Okay, what would you like to talk about? The 10 worst people in American history and why. Very popular topic. Let's go to KVOR in Colorado. Steve, tell us the worst person in America.
Hi, Michael.
Hey.
One of the worst would be Larry Flint. Remember the pornographer of the 70s?
Yes, he was punished in advance, wasn't he?
He was.
but maybe only to him, I would say it made me laugh that happened to him because he was.
Well, I don't laugh at a thing like that, but he did pollute America's. Larry Flint polluted America's mind. It's because of Larry Flint. Because of Larry Flint that we have the mainstreaming of pornography by perverting the meaning of the First Amendment.
Exactly.
I'm getting feedback for some reason, Neil. I hear my own voice coming back at me, and I don't know why, so I had to hang up on. Okay. I ride the call fader? No, I never ride the call fader. Next caller, WABC, who's the worst person in American history. There's no holds barred. You don't have to name a Democrat. It would help if you do, but it doesn't matter. You can name a Republican, but you have to give a reason why. Jim on WABC, who's the worst American in American history, in the top 10. Jim, go ahead, please.
Okay, so you Hefner, but I would have to include him in what I call, you refer to the four horsewomen of the apocalypse in the Obama administration. I would say there's a four horsemen of the apocalypse of American culture. That would be Hugh Hefner, Bob Guccione, Larry Flint, and Al Goldstein, because for about the last 60 years, they have been successful in mainstreaming pornography, which has the effect it has had on American culture is incalculable.
Incalculable. They've destroyed marriages. They perverted the minds of our young people who are ashamed of their own bodies now because they can't match up to the porn stars. And children are in rehab as a result of pornography.
Not only that, Michael, but they have sapped the energy of the American male. Young men are getting involved with this stuff. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They have.
I don't argue with you. I don't argue with you. I do not argue with you. It's a very dangerous drug, pornography, and it should be banned.
I agree.
Hardcore pornography is the greatest threat to any civilization. And by the way, the Muslims are 100% correct on this. The Muslims are 1,000% correct on this. They know what it does. You talk about graven images. You know, the Bible says you shall not, right, create graven images. You talk about biblical. This is biblical. Graven images. Graven images. Well, if you want to talk about the four horsemen of the apocalypse, I would name a few others who brought down Western civilization. I can name a few others. I would name a certain lawyer named Kunstler, a 1960s evil doer. Kunstler was one of them. Timothy Leary was one of them for mainstreaming LSD, which poisoned the minds of millions, tens of millions of people. LSD broke the minds of tens of millions of people, and it still does, incidentally. And it was Tim Leary who koshered it, said it was cool, it was advanced, it opened your mind up. You know, he made it sound cool because he was a doctor, a PhD from Harvard. Oh, well, he's cool. I mean, I know what it was like when we were young. Many people, oh, yeah, well, he does it. It's good. He does it. It's good. So I would put Timothy Leary in that group of people who destroyed America for sure. Kunstler would be in there, the lawyer who was one of the worst of in American history for many reasons. Just look it up. It was like a toxic pill to the American body politic. Who would you list as the worst American and why? Who? I'd like to know who. Okay, WMAL, Washington Curtis. Who's on your list of the top 10 worst Americans?
Yes, Dr. Savage. Not many Americans know who this man is, but I'm sure you do. Mr. Frank Marshall Davis, who is responsible.
I sure do. I wrote about him in Trickle Down Tyranny, and he was one of the great mentors of the great President Obama.
He's more than that to him. I believe he's also his biological father.
Yes, many people do. But it doesn't matter who his father was. What matters is what the son does. And the sun is transforming America in ways that are unimaginable on a daily basis, like a steamroller crushing every one of our institutions. You know, it's like a disease that's gotten out of control. The Obama mandates are like a disease that's raging out of control. And once a disease starts to spread, it's almost impossible to stop it until the disease burns itself out. And I am telling you that the tens of thousands of minions who work for Obama on a daily basis are crushing every aspect of our culture and society in order to remake them in the image of the academic socialists that most of them are. And this machine works around the clock. They are demonic. They're like terrorists who never rest. They never rest, and there's no such thing as enough for them. There is no such thing as enough for them. Just as during the French Revolution, when the guillotine started to fall on the necks of the rich, you know, when they ran out of the aristocrats to kill, the revolutionaries started to kill each other. And the guillotine was still not sated. The guillotine still needed more blood. And eventually, the revolution ran out of blood. That's when it stopped. And it's true in every revolution. Castro killed most of the people who fought alongside of him to create the great People's Republic of Cuba. Mao Zedong killed 60 million Chinese in his Cultural Revolution. Now, we haven't seen that yet, but I will tell you this, unless he is fought and he is stopped, we will see the equivalent, if not the actualities, in this country in our lifetime. That's what I fear, because I know how epidemics spread. And the epidemic of socialist communism, whatever you want to call it, under Obama, is a plague upon the body politic. I'll be right back. Well, I don't know. Fox News is reporting that the signal of the lost plane has been found, and the ping marks the spot. And the team of international investigators hunting for Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, they claim, has unquestionably located the missing jetliner and could soon have high-resolution images of the wreck site. An expert in deep-sea recoveries of ships and planes told FoxNews.com recently. I hope to God they do find the wreckage. I mean, it won't be, what we're looking at, the people are not alive if they do, but at least there'll be some finality to this. Okay, let's go to the callers. WABC, Manny. What's your topic? Fire away.
Hey, Michael. So just was hearing about the stabbing today in Pennsylvania, and if literally, when I heard that, right off the mind, it made me think that this was a copycat of a show that happens every Monday at 9 p.m. on Fox called The Following.
Well, what do you mean? On that show? On that show?
Yeah,
on that show, they show a kid. They show a kid stabbing.
No, they show people stabbing bunch of people. So there's this main character, his name is Joe Carroll. His followers, who are just trying to incite harm on people, go around stabbing people.
Wait, I'm not following you. You're saying there's a show called The Following on Fox in which they show a kid running around a school stabbing people?
No, they have followers of this cult leader. His name is Joe Carroll. So Joe Carroll tells his followers to go and hurt people, and the way they do that is by, for example, going to a coffee shop, going to a restaurant, randomly picking up people and stabbing them, like just randomly.
Oh, you mean ordinary entertainment from Fox? I get it. I'm sorry, I wasn't following you. In other words, the ordinary pollution put out by Murdoch's minions. I get it. Yeah, Katzenberg, Matzenberg, and Spielberg specialize in that. So now they created a show that the kid probably watched. That's what you're saying. All right, I get it. I thought maybe he thought of it himself. There's nothing new under the sun. WABC, Kevin, you're on the Savage Nation. Fire away.
Hey, Michael. Real quick. The worst person I ever had come across was probably Marilyn Albright.
I would agree with you. She's in the top three. This is an evil woman, in my opinion. Evil has a face, and it's called Madeleine Albright. And I know why you're saying it. She gloated over the bombing of Serbia. Isn't that what you're saying?
Correct, as well as Jimmy Carter as well.
Well, Carter wasn't involved in the bombing of Serbia. It was Madeleine Albright, along with Bill Clinton, who destroyed Serbia, bombed every bridge across the Danube River, and stole Kosovo from Serbia. And Madeleine Albright gets the blame for that, I would say.
Yeah, she also got awarded a Medal of Honor, I believe, also, didn't she?
Who, by Obama? The Presidential Medal of Freedom? Who do you think he gives it to?
I believe it's a story way back. I heard it. I don't know if it was just something.
Who knows? She's a lobbyist for China, the last I checked. She popped up out of the mud when Putin took Crimea. She suddenly came there with the whiny little nasally voice. She took time out from her lobbying efforts to give a speech about Putin. Suddenly the expert. Teen suspect ID'd in school stab spree that injured 20. You know, I don't know what kids, I don't know how you can be a kid today. You don't know what's coming tomorrow. These are innocent children, most of them. Just innocent children sitting in a classroom, bored out of their minds, most of them. Some are, and all of a sudden the kid shows up with a knife and starts stabbing? What the heck is going on? Answer, medication. I can guarantee you to a 99th percentile this child was medicated. Blame your doctor. Blame your local shrink. Blame the pharmaceutical industry. You want blame for this madness? The drugging of our children is the blame. From cradle to grave, these greedy vermin in the medical industry drug our children from age 1, 2, 3. ADD, ADHD, give them this drug, give them that drug. The kids are drug addicts. Blame the doctors, blame the drug companies.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855
It is a crazy world. Medicare millionaires. Florida eye doctor, a good friend of Menendez of New Jersey, got $21 million from Medicare in 2012, topping a list of more than 300 doctors who collected $3 million or more apiece in Medicare claims that year. Solomon Melgen, a Florida eye doctor, collected $21 million from Medicare in 1 year alone. What a face on him. My God. Go take a look at Solomon Melgen. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I've seen that face. I ran from it in New York, that face. The deli face. Don't worry. He does very well, Solomon. That's Sol, a real operator. He does very well, that's Sol. That same doctor who last year made headlines for having loaned his personal jet to Senator Robert Menendez, D., New Jersey, for trips to the Dominican Republic, received $20.8 million from Medicare, according to new physician data released today by the Obama administration. That's amazing. Well, he didn't say he did anything wrong. Maybe he didn't. I mean, he's a nice guy. He's got a nice laugh. The amount he collected was 64 times the average in his field. He has an office in Port St. Lucie, Florida. He's an ophthalmologist. And it was for injections, basically. That's all. Gave him injections. The AMA tried to stop the release of this information, saying it was unfair to doctors because the injections for age-related macular degeneration were all kosher. Melgen, the top-paid physician in 2012, has already come under scrutiny in addition to allowing the use of his jet to Menendez, the New Jersey Democrat. All right, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? He'll get away with it, boy. Well, who's the Attorney General? Attorney General Holder. It's already swept under the rug. They'll claim the government was persecuting him for religious reasons, that there's some kind of racism involved, that they're going after him only because of his race and religion, not because he took in $21 million from Medicare for eye work. All right, that's the country under Obama. I told you what it's like. It's like the sporting goods store that's being busted out from the back in The Sopranos, those of you who ever watched The Sopranos. Once they got their hooks into the owner of the sporting goods store and the gambling, already they became his partner, and they were moving stuff out of the back and selling airline tickets under his credit cards. That's what this administration is like. The whole administration is operating like The Sopranos, from top to bottom. Fake data, fake articles. Everyone who says anything to him is a racist. That's Solomon. He gave plenty of money, don't he? He's a terrific person. Solomon Melgen, a Florida ophthalmologist. Loved by all in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Florida. I don't know why I'm going there. Getting around the Knish people, I don't know if I can take it. They're so dangerous on lines and supermarkets. And you go to a deli, I mean, you got to wear like an armored jacket in Florida. They line up against the deli counter. They could be 80, but they're deadly with those canes. You got to be very cautious. You got to be very cautious. No, they are. The Knish people are very dangerous when provoked around food. You try to get a Knish ahead of them in a delicatessen, and watch out for that cane. They're like taekwondo artists with that cane. You got to be careful. You don't know where the canes are going to come from. It's like a nightmare out of like Todd Browning's Freaks. You don't know, 20 canes could come at you if you try to get ahead of them on a Knish line. I think I'm talking to myself now. I have a friend of mine who listens to the show, very highly placed in the media. I can't mention his name. He said, Savage, you're so funny. I laughed my head off. But he said, you're giving too much Chateaubriand every day. Some of the jokes are so in crowd. No one understands them anymore. Can't you throw them some chop meat, some chuck, some Taco Bell? I said, I don't know how to do it. I'm only going to give you Chateaubriand. And if you can't digest it, I'm sorry. That's what I feed my dog, is Chateaubriand. I'm giving Teddy a special diet when I'm away. He's not coming with me. He doesn't know, but he saw the car. He's getting nervous already. Once they see the suitcase and the bag hanging on the door, they get nervous. Then the guy who drives me to the airport drove up with the van today to like show me the gas tank. He thought he hopped in. It was very touching. The dog hopped in the van. Normally I take him with me, but I'm not going via that methodology this time. I'm going commercial. I'm not putting him in a bag. I'm not taking him on a plane in a bag under the seat. He would die. Like dead on arrival. Solomon Melgen jokes with a patient in his office. He is innocent, by the way. Eye injections for macular degeneration. You hear? Anyone listening to the show have an eye injection for macular degeneration that works? Because I never heard of one. So far as I know, macular degeneration is a one-way street. I don't know that you can reverse macular degeneration. I tell you this, I had a little experience with it, with high dosages of an over-the-counter product, bilberry extract. I said, oh, what's that crackpot stuff? Check it out, bilberry extract. Bilberry is a European blueberry, and there are some reputable herbal companies. Most of them are not. Most of them are shyster companies run by the worst gonoffs in the world. But some of them make certified pharmaceutical-grade herbal products. And the herbal products can be incredible. They're medicinal. But pharmaceutical-grade bilberry capsules have been shown to reverse macular degeneration. In fact, I'm not going to give you examples because you say the sample is too small. I'll leave it at that. Don't listen to me. Go get an injection. Go get an injection. I have a friend dying of cancer now. First, the cancer doctors took him for about $400,000 and experimented on him with every drug that Stanford couldn't test on a guinea pig because the EPA would have stopped the doctors from injecting the stuff into a guinea pig, but they could put it into a patient. So that was the first year. Cost them probably $1 million. All you got to do is say Stanford. They let you inject strychnine into your body. Stanford or the other one, anyone with a prestigious name. They use people like guinea pigs, in my opinion. That was year number 1 of cancer. Then the poor guy went to Germany on a last-ditch effort. Like in my day, it was Latrell in Mexico. Remember Steve McQueen? How many people were bilked by the Latrell shysters? And now it's horrible. It's spread everywhere. It's awful. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to not try? You see, that's the thing. What do you do? Not try? You just die? I mean, there are people who are saved from cancer today, but there's so much fraud in the field that it's hard to know which way to turn. There's a lot of cancer around. There's a lot of it. Everywhere you turn, it's like the plague is on the block. It's like on my block, there's like 4 people. So you have to say, well, what is it? I mean, what the heck is the house is built on like toxic mud or what? What is this? Then you start to get crazy from it. But you can't let it, do what you have to do. You're going to get something, one or the other. You get the big C or the big HA, one or the other. So let's not talk about disease and dying, please. I can't do it. I slipped into it again, no matter how I try. The New Yorker writer got me on that. He said, virtually every third sentence is about death or dying. I haven't changed yet. Okay, let's get positive. 3 of the nation's fittest communities are in Colorado, while West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio are the worst. Colorado is fittest. West Virginia is fattest. Now, what does that mean? How can you generalize like that? A national poll by Gallup and Healthways found the Huntington Ashland region in common parts of West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky had the greatest percentage of adults with BMIs in the obese range. Boulder and 2 other Colorado communities ranked among the least obese. So, we just saw an article the other day which said that people who are obese live longer. That the fit people die younger now. That's the latest study, which you could have guessed. You need a little fat, a blubber on your gut. It's an insulation. Everyone's known that. You see, this is the thing. You get obsessed with low body mass index. You have to understand what you're doing here. You're putting yourself at risk for a number of reasons. One, By releasing the toxins in your lipids through excessive dieting or exercise, what you're doing is you're putting into your circulation many of the toxins that have been coupled by your lipids. So when you go on a massive diet and you shrink the fat out of your body too rapidly, these toxins are released when the fat is released. That's number one. Number two, as a student of anthropology, if you look at all of the traditional images of Chinese martial artists going back hundreds of years, they all had you ever notice the swordsman, the famous one of the Chinese swordsman with the big beard? He always had a big stomach on him. Why? Number three, have you noticed the new wave of Russian boxers, how they're not built like American boxers? Have you noticed how most of the heavyweights have a pretty heavy layer of insulation on their bodies? They're not like lean and mean like a fighting machine. Why? Because they found out from ancient times that a slight layer of fat over your muscle is actually protective. It's an insulation. So just saying, oh, they're obese doesn't mean that they're less healthy. That's one man's opinion, and I've given it to you. That's all. Believe it or not. Do what you want. Don't leave any money on the table, boys and girls. Sign that form. Least obese U.S. communities. Boulder, Colorado, filled with drug addicts. Boulder's filled with some of, all of the wackadoodles left San Francisco, went into the hippie green businesses, smoked dope all day long, run up and down the mountains and eat carrots. Good luck to them. Get back to me when they're 70. Least obese community. Naples, Marco Island, Florida. I don't know who's the predominant. Naples is like sponge divers, Greek sponge divers. 3, Fort Collins, Loveland, Colorado. I don't even know where that is. 4, least obese community. Charlottesville, Virginia. 5, Bellingham, Washington. All right, what's the point of looking at this? 8th least obese is San Jose, Sunnyvale? That's crazy. I don't understand that. Most obese U.S. communities, Huntington, Ashland, and West Virginia. You drink like moonshine and eat pig fat? Eat duck fat and drink moonshine. So they're fat. They'll outlive the skinny people. McAllen, Edinburgh, Texas. This is like a joke, these kind of studies. They got to fill space somehow. Co-joined twins born in India with one body, two heads die after 20 days. Ugh. Marijuana allergies a buzzkill for some. You didn't know that, huh? You didn't know that marijuana can cause allergies. Oh, I thought it was natural. Cannabis is being called an emerging allergen by French researchers who have found some people may have an allergic reaction when smoking, inhaling, or chewing the plant. When it's grown outdoors, exposure to the plant's pollen can produce the same symptoms. That can't be. It's natural. It's natural. Cannabis sativa is natural. All of it's good. Every last seed of it is good. It can't be bad. Yeah, well, it is bad. Don't call me. Potheads not invited. Plastic surgery tourism in Dominican Republic cost Long Island woman her life. She went for affordable plastic surgery. What do you expect you're going to get with a bargain with plastic surgeon? It's terrible. I mean, you see what they do in New York, the fake surgeons in New York, with like plastic buckets and plastic tubes and like butter knives. God, prices on plastic surgery in the Dominican Republic. Yeah, at least you didn't go to Cuba for plastic surgery. When a Cuban from the administration gets sick, they don't use Cuban doctors. Are you kidding? They fly in like the last few Jewish doctors from Miami, or they secretly fly them to Miami to look for a retired Jewish doctor. No matter what they say, communism, schmommunism, they don't trust their own kind. In Cuba, they don't. They do not. Peaches Geldorf dead at 25. The British socialite. She's a socialite? The daughter of iconic rock star Bob Geldorf found dead. Then they got a PR agent to say they don't know why she died. Okay, did a whole thing on the heroin abuse, this and that. What do you expect from the daughter of a rock impresario? Yeah, it's not a joke. Okay, it can happen to anybody. I get that. Peaches Geldorf's dad, Irish singer and songwriter Bob Geldof. All right, my heart goes out to you, Bob. Her mother died of a heroin overdose when she was a baby. She was surrounded by this world of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. I mean, how could it not have ended this way? Peaches Geldorf, dead at 25. Thomas Cohen, she went on September, leaves behind her husband, Thomas Cohen. I don't understand. You know, a lot of these kids get married and have kids, though. That's good. She had a blossoming career in media. The other one, that bothers me lately, I can't open the New York Post without seeing a picture of a naked, ugly girl who's the daughter of an actor. The latest one that should not be doing it is Sean Penn's daughter. She's not beautiful. She doesn't have a great bod, and she's embarrassing herself. What are they telling her to striptease every other day? I love she never wanted to be an actress. Now she does. What else is she fit for? Or Alec Baldwin's daughter. Another one, please, darling. It's not too late to join a nunnery. Stop with the naked Instagram pictures of you behind in leotards. We don't want to see it anymore. It's disgusting. You have no sense of honor. This is crazy, this country. Alec Baldwin's daughter. Not pretty, not a great body. What's with every day another picture of them? You can't open a paper without seeing a picture of one of these stars' daughters stripped naked. Oh, what a crazy country. It's upside down. It's just upside down. Is it any wonder I'm taking a vacation? And I will take a break right now. Savage, the school rampage. It was a principal in the school who tackled the attacker. He was the hero. Tackled by the assistant principal. He's the hero. Let's not forget that. The kid who stabbed 20. Unbelievable. You can guarantee you it was drugs. No doubt he was on antidepressants. I can guarantee it. I'd wager $10,000 right now with anyone that he was on medication. I don't even doubt it anymore. The drugs are driving the children insane. Zeroing in, 2 new signals in Jet Hunt. Well, I've heard that before. They're new but fainter. Oh, God, here we go again. That CNN has staked their entire ratings on the pings, and thus far they have ponged. It's not worked for them. They've gotten pongs out of the pings. How can you talk about this over and over again? The death of Mickey Rooney is interesting. No one knows him. Poor old guy who was big in his day. He left $16,000. That's all he had left. $18,000. The man died in 90. He was the highest paid actor in Hollywood 70 years ago. His personal property totaled $18,000. Where'd the money go? That's unbelievable. Imagine the family waiting for the payoff, putting up with him all their lives. No, I'm saying because money but actors, personalities. It's a savage nation. Be here or be nowhere.
The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
I am obviously flattered and, deeply honored to have people ask me and people encourage me. And I am thinking about it, but I'm going to continue to think about it for a while.
Oh, God.
And part of it is because the hard questions are not,
oh, God.
Do you want to be president? Can you win?
No.
I mean, the hard questions are why.
Why? Because of power madness. Why not? What other reason? To serve the people? I understand that Hillary Clinton's going to release a book shortly. It's going to be called What Difference Does It Make? In honor of Benghazi. What difference does it make? That's the title of her new autobiography. Publisher may change the title at the last minute to something else. There's a lot of news, really, and you can call me on the news stories. John Boehner crying at a Taco Bell event. Ukraine crisis is getting worse because of the incompetence and weakness. Let's see what else is in the news for you. Holder should be a big topic. Meanwhile, although we no longer have NASA, the Russian Federal Space Agency is elaborating their moon exploration program. Again, they're ahead of us in space because Obama destroyed NASA. That's one of his greatest gifts to Russia, was eliminating NASA. What does the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration need with 96 armed agents? You see, there's a proliferation of federal agencies who have armed agents. And this is what worries most Americans who know what the Soviet Union was like. Just last summer, the EPA carried out an armed raid on a mine in Alaska to enforce the Clean Water Act. What do you think about that one? Now they're invading a cattle ranch in Nevada. 200 FBI agents, ATF, to steal cattle from a rancher because the cattle are grazing on federal land. This is getting crazier by the day. Can you forget the Gibson guitar raid by armed agents of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service? Armed agents of the Department of Education? Why is Obama arming all of these agencies on such a regular basis? The Bureau of Land Management has 200 uniformed law enforcement rangers and 70 special agents. I can name them all. You're not going to want to hear them because it doesn't mean anything to you. And what can you say about this? I know many of you only want to call about Hillary Clinton's peach cobbler recipe, which I do not have. I'm looking for it. I will take your calls at 855-472-8282, 855-4-SAVAGE, 855-472-82, 855-4-SAVAGE. Many of you are calling on the topic of the worst Americans in history. Let's go to WJR. Pat, you're on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Pat, fire away.
Yeah. Hey, bless your heart. I've listened to you for a long time, and I haven't bothered to call you because if I got ready to call you, you already hit that before I call you. But thank you and thank God for you airing the fact that it's these psychotropic drugs that these kids are involved in, Columbine, all the way down through. If you look back at the record, it's squashed, of course, because of big money. It's amazing how
every one of the school shootings was related to the overprescription of drugs by the evil pediatric establishment.
Bingo. Absolutely.
I know it. I've been running a one-man campaign on this for 25 years. I wrote a book in 1983 called The Art of Healing Children Naturally, and it was dedicated to the limited use of drugs. Unfortunately, greed has taken over the pediatrics area of medicine. When I was young, pediatricians were known as the lowest earners in the medical profession because they wouldn't prescribe drugs and they wouldn't prescribe procedures. That's how pediatrics was practiced a few decades ago. What happened was they trained an entire new generation of pediatricians to sell drugs, peddle drugs, and procedures in order to run up bills. And as a result, we have a drugged generation, and all of these school shootings are no doubt related to the overuse and overprescription of the entire spectrum of drugs, whether it's Adderall on one side of the spectrum or, serotonin reuptake inhibitors on the others. The drugs are killing our kids. I've been running a one-man campaign against it. And there's only so much any man can do. I mean, how much can I do? It's like fighting a tide, a huge tide of greed. I know someone who's a veterinarian, a really fine one, went to one of the best vet schools. She will not prescribe drugs that are not necessarily necessary. She will not prescribe procedures for dogs and cats that are not necessary. And she earns a small amount of money. While those who make up the bills as vets, as they go along, we need an X-ray, we need a this ray, that way, B-ray, your ray, my ray, Blu-ray, they make a lot of money. It's all about money. You say, well, what else is new under the sun? Maybe there should be something new under the sun. Maybe there should be something new under the sun. I don't let them just prescribe procedures. I usually resist. If I go to a dentist, I say I don't want any X-ray right off the bat. No X-ray, period. So, well, I can't do it without. I'll sign it for them. You can do it without it. That's all. I don't need another shot of another R-ray in my bones. That's all. Hey, have you seen the picture on my website of Teddy guarding me at the dental office? That's a great picture on michaelsavage.com. It's brought cheers to a lot of people's faces. I don't know if it's still up there and down in the middle of my website. You go under me beating Hannity, and here it is. Where is the Teddy pic? Oh, there it is. Teddy protects Savage from the dentist. That's just when they were coming in to give me an X-ray. I put him on my groin area, and he growled at them. They kept them away. Looks so lion-esque. Look how lion-esque my dog looks. Great dentist I have. I would never say anything else. I told you you're never more vulnerable than with your mouth open on drugs. I'm not talking about Hollywood mores. I'm talking about dental offices. I'm sorry. I could have been talking about West Hollywood. I'm sorry, talking about the dental office when I said that. It was inadvertent. You're never more vulnerable than with your mouth open when you're on drugs. In a dental office. I mean, I didn't have the dental office. That's what I meant. I wasn't drugged there. I'm so vigilant. Oh, I don't trust anybody. I lay there like a lion waiting for the hand to move in the wrong direction. I take sunglasses into a dental office. I don't like the lights in my eyes. Great picture. MichaelSavage.com, home of the Savage Nation. So what's on the home page? Who's the worst American? Savage top talker via digital streaming by nearly 7 points. Feds move in on ranchers herd over illegal grazing. Sharpton's shady snitch story, says the Daily News. Now, what's ironic about that is that the Daily News built up this pile of you-know-what, this Ophel in a suit. Ophel in a suit was built up by the Daily News over the years. Oh, he's a great civil rights activist. Now, all of a sudden, yeah. So it got shot down. The equal pay thing got shot down in the Senate. It's an election year. That's a good sign. Even the Senate knocked down the equal pay. They knew it was just a ploy, to pander to women. AIDS patients flocked to Obamacare. No, I'm shocked. Guess who signed up? Guess who the number one signees were for the? They're mainly the ultra sick people. No kidding. Who'd you think was going to foot the bill, idiot? You're going to foot the bill for everybody's disease. You are, you idiot. Natural-born Obama voters. AIDS patients flock to Obamacare. Analysis of the first 2 months of claims data show the new enrollees are more likely to use expensive specialty drugs to treat conditions like HIV, AIDS, and hepatitis C than those with job-based insurance. No, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that you're going to pay that kind of money. More than 6 in every 1,000 prescriptions were for an HIV drug, a rate 4 times that of employer plans. HIV/AIDS drugs, Atripla and Truvada, ranked in the top 10. Sovaldi, an $84,000 treatment approved in December to treat Hep C, came in second for total spending. You get the picture. Volume of pain meds, 35% higher. Drugs to control seizures, 27% higher. Antidepressant use, 14% higher. Conversely, birth control prescriptions were 31% lower. So now you understand what Obamacare was all about from day one and which groups were going to use it from day one and who's going to foot the bill from day one. And that's that story, and don't call me on it because there's nothing you can do about it because John Roberts, obviously, is the reason that we have Obamacare. Never should have happened. The abomination called Obamacare is all a result of John Roberts, who shocked the world. And to this day, no one knows what pictures they may have on him. No, come on, that's ridiculous. I shouldn't say that. He's just an honorable man. He's the one who said it's not a tax, it's a this, it's a that. That's how we have it. Drugs and kids. Drugs and kids. Ranchers in Nevada. Who's the worst American? Who is the worst American? I should do Who's the Best American. Then I would get calls that are so boring you'd fall off the chair. If I did Who's the Best, see, no one wants to hear the best. Who's the best American? We start hearing about George Washington and, Alexander Hamilton. Kerry is betrayed and surprised by McCain onslaught. Secretary of State John Ketchup Kerry felt betrayed and surprised by Republican Senator John Crazed McCain's withering and highly personal remarks at a congressional hearing. Oh, he's now shocked by McCain? Putin threatens to make Ukraine pay ahead for gas. Oh, not pay at the pump, but you got to put the credit card in advance. Vladimir Putin threatened today to start charging Ukraine in advance for vital gas supplies. I told you, look out, man. He's got all the gas for Europe. They have a bad enough winter. He could turn off the heat in every porno parlor in Brussels. He could put Denmark out of business by shutting off the gas to the houses of ill repute along the waterways. They don't want that. They're afraid of that. Imagine turning the gas off to Denmark. What would they do? What would they do without heat? Obama to Fort Hood shooting victims' families. You gave your sons to America. All right, what can you do about it? You can't say anything. All I can say to you is this. I got to take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
I'm not going to make a decision for a while because, I'm actually enjoying my life. I'm actually having fun, just, doing ordinary things like seeing my friends and going on long walks and
oh my
playing
God,
with our dogs and doing stuff that are just.
All right.
They sound
I am
pretty
so
simple.
happy that Mrs. Clinton is enjoying her life. She must be making peach cobblers in Westchester with Martha Stewart, wearing a little apron now. Just one of us. She's just one of the people. Her and Martha Stewart are rolling the dough together with the rolling pins and getting the tips on how to make the best Westchester peach cobbler you've ever tasted. And perhaps she may or may not run for the presidency. And then we have Kerry. Kerry, they're rejecting the charge that the administration's foreign policy is spinning out of control. I would like you on the Savage Nation, if you're listening intently right now, let's say you're scanning the dial and you finally said, who is this guy? This guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I want you to listen to an exchange yesterday between Senator Jim Risch, a Republican of Idaho, and Secretary Clueless Kerry in clips 1 and 2. Neil, let's fire away. 1, Senator Jim Risch on the Savage Nation.
At the issues with Russia and Iran and North Korea and Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, and the peace process, and all the difficulties with every one of these, I tell you, you can't help but get the impression that our foreign policy is just spinning out of control. And we're losing control in virtually every area that we're trying to do something in. This administration said they were going to hit the reset button, and I can't help think that somebody hit the wrong button.
Well, let me give you what I consider a taste of reality, Senator, about our foreign policy and the realities of the world. Georgia happened under George Bush.
Oh, Bush.
Georgia happened under George Bush, and he didn't even bring a sanction. When you say,
there it is again.
Something
All right,
like
get him off the show. Get Ketchup off the show. Get Mr. Ketchup off the show. This is a Secretary of State. He blames what happened under Bush. You hear this? For his incompetence. It's unbelievable to me. China shows their new carrier jet for Mr. Hagel the Bagel visit. They couldn't get him a good fresh bagel, so they showed him a new aircraft carrier. No, he's visiting China, and he wanted to see if they yet had a bagel bakery that was worth anything in China. And instead of showing him a new bagel bakery in Shanghai, brought in by a Jewish-Chinese entrepreneur, apparently they don't exist yet in China, he was shown their new aircraft carrier. So that's that. What else? Mars aligns with Earth and Sun. I don't know. Any of these celestial events don't affect me. What does it have to do with me? Mars aligns with Earth and Sun. Must have to hide in my basement now? Hide in the root cellar? Mars aligns with Earth and Sun. And what? No wonder I have a pain in my left ear. I get it. That explains the new pain in the neck. What else is in the news? I'll get out the news. You don't want to hear this. I'm going to talk about racism right now. Hank Aaron is a ball player that I once respected. No longer. Hank Aaron told a reporter that anyone who criticizes Obama is like the Ku Klux Klan. Did you hear what I just said to you? Hank Aaron, who I remember as a young boy, was a fabulous ball player. I always liked Hank Aaron. Little did I know that underneath the skin was a lunatic, possibly a racist, harboring hatred for everyone other than those of his own race. Anyone who criticizes Obama is a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Listen, Hank, I don't own any sheets. And if I do, they're all either brown or green. None of my sheets are white, Hank. I don't sleep on white sheets, Hank. Hank Aaron says you oppose the president, you're a racist. This is unbelievable to me. Can you name one member of Congress who was an actual kooky Ku Klux Klan member? A kooky Klux Klan member? No, there's only one, a Democrat named Robert Byrd. He was the only actual member of Congress who was a kooky Klux Klan member. Kooky Klux Klan. I'd make a nice comic strip. The Kooky Klux Klan comic strip. How about Woodrow Wilson? He was a progressive who showed the first movie in the White House, which was a pro-Kooky Klux Klan movie. You don't know that. It is the Savage Nation. Country is getting so out of hand right now. We are swimming in barbarism of the lowest order. Deceit, lies, corruption, criminality at the highest levels, and outright racism, by the way. And there are many sources of it. Obama is stirring the pot, signing directives aimed at gender pay gaps, stirring up women against men. You got cases of black youths running wild in the streets, beating up white people. Everyone's looking the other way. Everyone's afraid to talk about it. You got the president and the attorney general embracing one of the greatest race hustlers in history. There are a lot of anger in the country, lots of anger. And rightly so. People are going crazy from it. They don't know what to do. And it's boiling. There's a boiling point that hasn't been reached yet. They want it to be reached. I'm asking you, who are the worst Americans in history? I don't even want to go into that, but we have a racist streak running through this administration that's starting to worry me deeply. Why would he embrace Al Sharpton, the president? I would think he would want to be 1,000 miles away from that man. Yet he invited him to the White House. He's surrounding him in New York City. And Eric Holder? Let me ask you something. Are American white men that stupid? I don't know. You answer the question yourself. They elected him. Do you know that it was the white blue-collar voter who elected Obama? They were the swing voter who elect people like Obama, Durbin. You know, that's what I'm trying to say to you. Are they that dumb? You say, well, what was the option? The option was a middle-of-the-road Republican who admittedly was too weak on many issues, including immigration, because I had dinner with him 2 years before he ran, and that was the last time he ever talked to me again, is after dinner. Never talked to me again. And it wasn't because it wasn't the best veal in the city. He actually asked me, how's the veal in this place? I'm not kidding you. I said, could you bring out sliced silver cup, please? Take away the Italian bread. He may not have. He had the veal. Nice man, and I would have voted for him gladly. At least we know where he was born. We know where his loyalties lie. We knew that he knew the dangers of Islam. He understood all of that, and he would have been a better choice. I mean, we wouldn't have gotten 100% on our dollar. We would have gotten 60, 65. Now we have less than zero. There's nothing Obama has done that I agree with. Nothing. That's not on principle. I don't know what he's done that I could agree with. Nothing. Anyway, let's not go into Obama. Okay, the word itself is becoming a noun. It can become a verb, actually. Obama could become a verb after he's through. Oh, don't try to Obama me, man. It is a noun. It is a noun. It's a person, place, or a thing. Even I remember that from high school. But after he's out of office, the name could become synonymous with a verb. For example, if you say, give me an example of names, people's names that became verbs. They were so remarkable that they became a verb. I don't know, is there such a thing? No, don't Obama me would be a verb. He's trying to Obama me. Don't out Obama me. I'm going to Obama you. You Obama me. Me Obama you. You Obama me. He's getting ready for another trip, by the way, to Asia now. He did so well on his trip to Europe that he's going to Asia now. They're getting ready to, of course, snicker at him behind his back. Oh, yeah, they love him over there. They'll probably take Taiwan while he's there and then offer him a fortune cookie. You probably give him a big state dinner and give him a special fortune cookie. Can you imagine? Maybe he could bring along... No, I can't say it. There's so many things I want to say that get stuck on the tip of my tongue because I have constraints. Constraints. Eventually, there'll be no constraints on me. I'll entertain God through eternity. All right, bring in Savage. I'm bored today. I'm bored of all the universes I control. They're all no damn good as far as I'm concerned. I don't like any of my universes. No one's good on any of the planets. I don't like any of them. Bring in Savage. I want some entertainment. And get his mother in here, too. I want some more of those foods that she cooked for him. They sound good to me. I'm sick of the white bread. I wonder if God eats. I'd be interested in God's diet. I really would. I don't know, what could he eat? Now someone ripped that off as a book title. I know that immediately. They get so many ideas from me. I'm a living idea factory. I know that. That's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's how God made me. He wants me to be an idea factory. What a horrible thing the idea of death is. It really bothers me. All these years we work to improve ourselves. Education, physical training, not eating the strawberry shortcake, not having that extra drink, taking that bicycle ride, using the dumbbells at night when you don't want to use them. Not doing the things that you don't want to, that you know you want to do, that you can't do. For what? In the end, what's the point of it all? Millions of years of evolution to produce me. And at the end, I'm the same as the woman who ran naked in the McDonald's on medication because she didn't get her ice cream. And she votes. That's what I love, is that she has the same vote I do. I mean, democracy was not invented for times like this. It doesn't work. You have more people on Medicaid or Medicare than live in England right now. You have more non-working Americans than ever in history. They vote. Why should they vote? Tell me why somebody on welfare should vote. Of course they'll vote themselves a raise, a fat slob who does nothing, a drug addict. Of course they'll vote themselves a raise on my back. You want to limit the vote, you idiot? Democracy was not invented for times like this by the ancient Greeks. It was invented for a homogeneous society in limited numbers. Then they knew they could have cohesion and come to rational decisions. You're telling me this government is rational? You're telling me anything they do is rational? You're telling me that all these slobs and leeches should vote? You know I'm right, but you know that you can't say it. And you know the reason you listen to the shows. You say, this guy is right, but I can't say it. Let him say it. Let him put himself at risk. The reason we have Obama is because they voted. The people on welfare, the leeches, the bums, the illegal aliens. What do you think he was elected? No, he was elected by people who work for a living. Anybody who got where they are in life by working hard knew who he was before he even started. You took one look at him and listened to him. You knew he was all, okay, I've said it too many times. I'm going to stop right now. Okay, you know what it is. Goes back a long time. Democracy was not created by the ancient Greeks for a nation like this or times like this. It isn't working. It's not going to work. That's why the political class is so low, is because the system is lower than they are. They let them stay in power. How else do you explain Dianne Feinstein staying in power this long? Or Barbara Boxer? Feinstein saw a model airplane outside her window. She thought it was a drone. She's chair of the Senate Arms, whatever committee. Senate Intelligence Armed Services, all the same. How'd she get there? The mayor of San Francisco. How? Well, that's the intelligence we have. She's chairman of the committee. That's how the marathon bomber in Boston occurred. They're all so busy watching you that they don't watch those who'll set off the bomb. Starting to sound like my aunt. She used to talk like this. I loved her. I didn't want to be around her, man. You know that. She was so hard to be around because she was so right. She had the old Russian realism, like bang, 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 bang. Whatever you said to her. She gave you an answer. 2 seconds. She cut you to ribbons. Bang, bang, bang. Whatever you asked her. Boom, bang, bam. And you sat there in the back of the car. You got whiplash from it. You needed a neck brace by the time you were through. But you loved her because it was like taking a dive into a cool stream as opposed to swimming in lukewarm milk all day long. You didn't want to do it all day long. You say, I can listen to this guy only so long. All right, he's on 3 hours a day. I can take that. But who would want to live with him? The answer is nobody. But you're not supposed to live with me. It's not a popularity contest. I'm not asking you to marry me or be my boyfriend or girlfriend. Do you understand that? I'm not running a popularity contest. You don't have to like me. All you got to do is listen to me and understand I'm right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You know I'm right. What the heck do you think I'm so popular and why people listen to me? Half the politicians who fake it listen to me. Half the Hollywood actors listen to me on the internet. Why? Because they don't get reality. Everything's so nice and smooth and cool. Everyone's got the right coiffed hair, the right this, the right that, the Botox lips, Botox eyes, Botox nose, Botoxed heart, Botoxed lungs, Botox butt. Everything's Botoxed. And no one knows what's up or down, right or wrong, north or south, east or west. Me, I got 1 foot in the old world, 1 foot in the new world. 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the future. Yep, it's a mad world. We know that. It's degenerating. Not everybody should vote. And I've said for years, if you're on welfare, you don't vote. That's an incentive to get off welfare. You earn the right to vote. Why would you give somebody on welfare the right to vote? Where is it written? Oh, we're all equal? Really? They're supporting me? We're equal, huh? We're equal, right? I'm on welfare or they're on welfare. They're taking it from my back, not their back. So if they're taking it from me, oh, I'm helping them. You don't vote because you're only going to vote yourself a raise. Then the politicians have to appeal to me, the worker, not the leech. You get it? That would straighten the whole system out. You're on welfare, you lose the right to vote. That's the end of the Democrat Party for 100 years. It's that simple. So you know it's not going to happen. They'll start screaming inequality, racism. You get the game. You know how it works. So what can you do? The system will never be fixed. That's all. Life goes on. World War I artillery shells found in luggage at O'Hare. What? World War I artillery shells found in luggage at O'Hare, and I'm flying Thursday? Oh, no. I start reading these horror stories. Don't say Malaysia to me. Don't even say air. Say, how's the air? Even I don't want to hear the word air, airulon, air, nothing. Wheel, tarmac, runway. I dread the whole thought of it. Airline food. Oh, God, there's such a thing? Yeah, airline food. Airline food, no less. Yeah, I'll have airline food. I'm afraid to ask for anything. I fear of being arrested. World War I artillery shells found in luggage in Chicago. The trick is send the luggage ahead. Big bag, everything you ever dreamed of. Throw it in there and take nothing on the plane with you. A tiny thing, like a neck brace, something for the neck and the chair. That's about it. Like pills, supposed to take your medication. I know Russia's going to invade Ukraine. See, Ukraine is two countries. It's not one. Like America's several different nations, Ukraine is not one nation. There's no unity there. It's an arbitrary landmass. But Russia will they're doing fake provocations now amongst the Russian-speaking who have seized government buildings in the three cities today. I won't name them. Never heard of it. Supposed to make believe you know the names. I'm going to sound intelligent. Pro-Russian protesters seized government buildings in the three cities of Donetsk, Luhansk, and Kharkiv. Never heard of them. Are we being dragged into another civil war in which we have no business? Yes. I wonder what Obama's going to do when the far-right group takes it over. Oh, that mean-looking guys. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy warship, USS Donald Cook, is scheduled to enter the Black Sea no later than Thursday. That's if they can get there on time. They have to check their affirmative action schedule and the women's rights schedule and the equal pay schedule to see if they can get there on time. They need some lessons on proper behavior aboard ship. Do they still put artillery shells? And do they load the missile silos on ships anymore? Are they allowed to? Or is it considered too provocative? I'll be right back. What's this 20 wounded in stabbings? Well, you won't see much about that because there was no gun involved. I think they're going to outlaw bread knives now and possibly butter knives as well. It's not a laughing matter, but, you know, the lunatics in the media were hoping to God that it was with a gun. Well, we've been talking about the incompetence and the racism of the Obama administration. That's right. You heard me right. The incompetence and the racism. How else would you describe an administration that wraps their arms around Al Sharpton, the shady snitch? It's amazing to me. Amazing to me. Even the New York Daily News, which supported this imposter, is now calling it a shady snitch story. And yet the president and Attorney General Holder are so disconnected from caring about the American people that they will go and embrace this man at his conference this week. I rest my case. The country's been taken over by, let's leave it at, you'll figure out by who. Meanwhile, on the opposition, the other side of the aisle, where there is nothing on the other side of the aisle but empty suits, John Boehner cried at a Taco Bell event. That's right, he was speaking at a foundation event, and he started to cry, holding back tears while praising the work of the Boys and Girls Clubs. I mean, at a time we need the strongest opposition in history, what we have is a man in a pink tie who cries at the drop of a taco. Meanwhile, in the Ukraine, it looks like Russia's ready to invade and take half the Ukraine. And, of course, as you well know, nothing will happen. Here are the headlines I picked up. While you slept, Obama decided to reduce our nuclear missile force as part of the START Treaty. You heard me. Obama lobbied to make certain that 50 of our missiles will be removed from their launch silos. Listen to this. As part of a plan to bring the U.S. into compliance with a 2011 U.S.-Russia arms control treaty. This is while Russia has taken Crimea and probably will take the Ukraine. Obama, instead of adding missiles to the silos, is reducing them. We have an out-of-control lunatic left-wing fanatic in the White House. Meanwhile, the corrupt Democrat Party rolls along. Senator Menendez, remember him of New Jersey? He has a pal, Dr. Solomon Melgen, who collected $20 million in 2012 from Medicare, a Florida eye doctor who has close ties to New Jersey Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, billed Medicare more than $20 million in 1 year alone. I rest my case. Meanwhile, Brandeis University has now fallen into the sewer. They were going to grant an honorary degree to a wonderful Somali woman named Ayan Hirsi Ali. What's her crime? While she was born into Islam, she's become one of the staunchest critics of Islam. The woman has suffered at the hands of Islamic maniacs. They were going to grant her an honorary degree. And guess who opposed her? The Council on American Islamic Relations said that a prestigious university should not honor someone with such openly hateful views. Now, this is a Muslim woman who has been mutilated by Muslims. This is a Muslim woman who warns the world of what Islam really is. 85 of the 350 faculty members at Brandeis signed a letter asking for her to be removed from the list of honorary degree recipients. All I would say is shame on Brandeis, but guess what? They have destroyed the name Brandeis. Those are some of the topics on the Savage Nation. We've also been talking about black racism. You heard me. Hank Aaron, a ball player we all thought we loved, said that Obama's critics are like the Ku Klux Klan. In other words, if you criticize him, you're a member of the Ku Klux Klan. I don't have any white sheets, Hank. Trust me, the only thing I have that's white is a baseball I collected when you were still playing ball, and it's in my dresser drawer. I remember those great days at Yankee Stadium, Hank. Guess what? I'm going to sell that ball now. I don't want your signature on anything. It sickens me. Hank says if you oppose Obama, you're a racist. So I guess everybody's a racist in America. Hank, can you name the one member of Congress who was actually a KKK member? It was Robert Byrd, Democrat. Hank, it seems to me you've taken too many slugs in the head to be listened to. This is the Savage Nation. As I've said to you, give me 15 minutes and I'll give you America. And let me tell you something else. By my sky-high ratings, you've given me everything I've ever wanted. This is Michael Savage.
Savage.